Hello and welcome to this Falcon Weekly special report on the 2016 College Night Competition. I'm Anlin Nance.
And I'm Courtney Boyd. Thanks so much for joining us. The Purples won the coveted homecoming tradition with their pirate-themed musical beating the Gold Sides Casino Heist show.
Let's take a look at how the two sides went head-to-head to try and take the victory. The Gold Sides started off College Night with their play titled Dirty Work. The play was set in Las Vegas during the 1950s. The show focused on Joe DeFranzo, aka Bugsy, a gangster who is ordered by his boss, Lucky, to pull off a heist by robbing the Golden Nugget Casino. In the end, an undercover crook posing as a showgirl, Wendy Wright, got the drop on him and stole the keys to the casino's vault, taking the money for herself and leaving Bugsy both brokenhearted and empty-handed.
Purple Side's show All Hands on Deck was a gender-bending tale about living on the sea and breaking the code of a pirate's life. Main character Roger and Iris went back and forth about whether a woman can be a pirate and even a captain of her own crew. Iris deceived the crew by dressing as a man to show that women can do whatever men can do. In the end, Iris proved her worth to the crew and came clean about being a woman. And a major plot twist revealed that the original pirate captain was also a woman. The show ended with a powerful message explaining that anyone can do whatever they put their mind to, no matter the gender. After the curtain fell on the Purple show, there was about a 30-minute wait before both sides crowded the Palmer stage. Eventually, SGA President Jacob Gordon announced the Purple's secret phrase. Weeks of hard work and preparation paid off for the Purples as they celebrated their PV, which marked the Purple side's 50th College Night win. Purple leaders and newly crowned Mr. and Miss Montevallo, James Powers and Hannah Stevens, stopped by our studio earlier today to talk with Falcon Weekly's Hope Finley about leading their side to victory.
Thanks for joining us, Hannah and James. How are y'all doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great.
Good, awesome. So what went through your mind, like standing on stage as the catchphrase was said?
A lot of things.
Yeah. It was very cool because the first thing I did was scream. And then I had a very kind of like this existential moment because the newspapers came from overhead and I saw a newspaper and I was like, that's my show. And then when I watched the videos, it's just me like standing on stage just like really like still. It's kind of weird. It was cool though.
Yeah,
very
cool. That's one of the most stressful things to do because the way they do the announcements, they don't just go up there and say, all right, purple one or gold one. They make you listen to this whole speech and you're just waiting for a phrase. They don't even say like it was purple side. They say a line. So it's one of the most stressful things I've done, especially as a leader because, you know, we've been working on this since last April. And I had a past purple leader actually tell me that hearing your catchphrase as a leader is one of the most rewarding moments, and it had been his whole life.
Would you say that it was your most rewarding moment?
It's a big one. It's a big one. It's kind of a culmination of like all the work we put into it, and you know, all the I guess just the goals and the hopes that we had for the side, all kind of like boiling down to one moment on stage, and it's really special and really cool.
Awesome. So I know this was the 50th win for Purple Side.
Yes.
So what does that mean to you guys? With it being the 50th win and you being responsible for the 50th win?
Oh wow, it's pretty cool. It's not bad, not bad. It's interesting that I got to be a part of something that's so big for this side that in the grand scheme of things, I've only been here for like the last 4 years you know. So I think it's very interesting that people that I don't even know are coming up and they're like, yeah, you got to 50, and I was like, yeah, I guess I did.
Like, I didn't do 1 through 49, but I did.
Hey.
Yeah, so it was really great. It was really great.
Awesome.
I think this was a special year too, because a lot of, especially like old purples that came back, especially with the show that we did this year, were like, this is reminiscent of like an old purple show, of kind of that like, in a good way, like that kind of like more of the glory days of the side or whatever. So it made a lot of our vintages really, really happy to see us kind of going back to something like that with our own kind of take on it and with our own twist.
Right.
So it's just cool to be part of that tradition and part of that legacy.
Yes. So what was the inspiration? Well, you just told me about the inspiration behind the show, but more so like, how did you come up with it?
Well,
Like, you know.
Well, Hannah was the writer, so I
Yeah.
think Hannah will do a great job of answering this one.
well, it's a funny story. I have a very college night family. Like my grandmother went here and played college night, and my mom went here and played college night, and so did my aunt.
Oh, awesome.
And my grandmother was a purple and a gold because when she came here, they had you switch by class, and my mom was a purple and my aunt was a gold. So I just have a very college night oriented family. And we were at the beach one year, and we saw like a stupid little pirate boat, and they were like, "Wow, what if you wrote a pirate college night show?"
And here we are.
And I wrote a pirate college night show.
And it won. So.
But I've been working on this show. I started writing it 2 summers ago, and it's changed a lot. It's changed so much, but I'm really happy with the way it ended up. And the thing I like about it was it really was a collaboration. You know, James contributed a lot. We had meetings with like the committee. The college night committee mandated like some script workshops, which were really cool. And you know, we got a lot of good feedback from those and a lot of good ideas. And a lot of the stuff they focused on was just making sure that it was a very clear story.
Yes.
So that was something that I was really happy with. And from the start, I knew I wanted it to be a feminist pirate musical.
Yes.
Because that was just something that I felt very strongly about. But a lot of it was figuring out, okay, what is the story of this girl? And the challenges that she faces and the way that she tackles them and overcomes. And I think it turned out awesome and better than I imagined it to be when I started writing it.
Yeah.
It was great. I came to 2 of the shows and saw it, and I was blown away by y'all's. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. But so this year was a little different. This was the shortest amount of time that y'all have had to put the show together, 3.5 weeks, I think. So tell me about what went into like the pre-production stuff, how, you know, I mean, some of the things that normally you do as soon as we get back from Christmas break, what did you do beforehand that you haven't normally done in the past?
Well, both sides were allowed the opportunity to cast the show in the fall. So before we even started rehearsals, you know, we had a show. Before we even had the finished, you know, script, you know, we had a cast, and that really allowed us to, like, when we're writing. A lot of times in college night, you write a script, you give it to people, and they'll be joking around one day, and we'll be like, oh man, that's kind of funny, let's keep that. And now, but this, you know, we didn't have time for as much of that going on, so we got to see who the cast was and go, okay, that would be really funny if, like, you know, like Kevin Britt said this,
Yes.
Or
Kiera
Kiera
said this,
like,
and,
we
like,
wrote
you
all
know,
that stuff for you.
so it was really great doing it like that. And also the big thing, I think, a lot of times, especially on the Purple side, music will kind of get written as the rehearsal process is going. And we didn't really have time for that this year. So me and Hannah, over Christmas break, were helping our composer, Matt, and JoJo really write a lot of the music so that when we got back into rehearsals, you know, we were there and ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how was it working together, not only as leaders, but as a couple?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a good idea to be leaders and be dating, like, just in general.
Yeah.
However, I think for us it really worked because from the start we already were able to communicate really well. We'd already been dating. When we got Leader together, we'd been dating for about 1.5 years. So we had a pretty solid, you know, background, and we'd known each other for about 2 years before we started dating. And I think it helped us, as in we just automatically knew how to communicate with each other. And we found a lot of moments, at least I did, that, like, if I was freaking out, James would be calm. And if he was freaking out, I would be calm.
Yeah.
So we kind of balanced out. And another thing we always say is that he's a pre-stressor and I'm a post-stressor. So he would stress out about things before they happened, and then they would happen, and then I would stress out about it. So no matter what, one of us was stressed all the time. We had all of our areas covered. But yeah, I don't know. I said a lot. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have wanted to co-lead with anybody else because we were able to just be united about a lot of stuff, and the things that we would disagree on, we would be able to work through and feel like, okay, like, well, why do I feel like this, and why do you feel like this, and how can we come to a middle ground about it?
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts? I just took
No, I mean, it's yeah, you know, you're right. It's cool. It's funny because people are like, you know, oh, you know, co-leading, is that terrible? And I was like, no, actually, it was really fun. It was really great, especially, you know, with Hannah.
It's an awesome experience.
It was
to
an
have
awesome
with each other.
experience. It was a good growing experience, and we learned a lot about each other, and we don't hate each other, so I guess that's a good sign.
A win-win-win, I guess, because you also were both crowned Mr. and Miss Montevallo.
Yes.
So, you know, it's just been a great past couple of weeks for both of you. So how does it feel to be crowned?
It was fun. Yeah,
It's good. It was
Were you
cool.
expecting it?
No, I was not. It's really funny. I remember when I got the nomination. I did it because Hannah was like, "Oh, you should do it." I'm doing it, and I was like, "Okay."
Why not?
And I was like, "Why not?" Yeah. And I did it, and I was just kind of sitting on stage, and I was like hanging out, and they said my name, and it was this awkward moment. I was like, "Oh, what
That's me.
what do I do now?" And everyone's like, "Yay!" And I'm like, "What?" And so I'm like kind of like shuffle over somewhere, and Hannah's looking confused too. And I'm like,
Yeah, we were both really awkward
really
about it.
awkward.
We knew there was what to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was just like honored because I think across the board, all 6 candidates from Instrument of Light were outstanding.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I thought everybody on there was really deserving and really wonderful. So yeah, I mean, I was really like humbled and honored. And it was cool because we've been working on this show specifically and on College Night for a really long time, and to kind of get to this weekend of the show's opening and us to have to like kind of step back because it was like once the show opened we couldn't do that much. We just had, and I like tried, I was like, found myself being like, "Hannah, you should have fun because this is the time you get to have fun." I was like, stop worrying about it, like enjoy it because it would be over soon. So yeah, it made for a really fun and very stressful weekend.
It was great. It was all the emotions.
I had
you
a
could
lot
have.
of feelings.
We had those emotions.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give future College Night leaders?
Pirates work.
Pirates work. Pirates work. No, I would say the biggest one for me, and I learned this from a pastor I had a long time ago, is that a leader is not determined by how well they can do Plan A. Like anyone can do Plan A. It's about how well they can do Plan B. And I think me and Hannah, we got on Plan
We on Plan M.
H, something crazy.
Plan Z. Like
I don't
we went
know.
through a lot of plans.
We went through a lot of plans, but it's figuring out when stuff is thrown at you, going, all right, how do I make this work? Rather than like, oh, I have this brilliant idea. This is the only thing that can work. It's when stuff is thrown at you, how do you deal with it? And that's the best advice I can give.
I think another big one that we said to each other a lot just throughout the process was to remember that like we can control the game and not to let the game control you, because sometimes it feels so overwhelming and it's so easy to be like, well, I just can't do anything, I'm just stuck. And we had to remind ourselves a lot, like, focus on like what can we control and what can we do. And you can't control everything, that's just the nature of the game. But really focusing on what you can change and what you can influence and being positive about that.
Be positive.
Positivity.
In general, because it's a long road, and it's a long, dark road, and you can sit there and be negative the whole time, but it's just not going to help you. You got to stay positive, and you got to keep everyone positive, because if you don't, like, people are going to...
That's one of the hardest things, is just trying to keep the positivity everyone's
up.
Spirits up and everyone's morale up, especially because I remember being my freshman year, and I had no idea that there was any drama. I was like, this is great. I love this. Everyone's happy all the time. So we really wanted to make sure that, especially the freshmen, knew that feeling of just like the joy of college night, because there are times when it's really hard, but there are also times when it's the most fun thing you've ever done, which is I think why people keep doing it.
And in college night, I think it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be something we dread doing. So if you hate the process, then we're probably not doing it right. And so you gotta have fun. You gotta somewhere have a little bit of fun. It's not fun all the time, but sometimes it has to be fun.
Yeah, and we said a lot, in hard times, like, come to us with solutions, not problems. And we would try to go to people with solutions, not problems. And that got very hard, and we had, James had to remind me a lot, like, okay, think about solutions, don't just dwell on it. And I was like, you're right. And I think that was something that helped us get through a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank y'all so much, and congratulations again. And thank you for taking time out of your day to come and speak with us and, tell us all about your experience with being leaders. So
thank you.
Thank y'all.
To see more clips and photos from this year's College Night, be sure to follow us on Instagram. Just search for Falcon Weekly. You can also see more College Night updates on our Facebook and Twitter pages.
Coming up, the death of Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia has Republicans and Democrats up in arms over who his successor will be. Hear why the Republicans want to delay confirming a replacement until after the election.
Also, it looks like the Batmobile, and it will soon be built right here in Alabama. Find out how many jobs Polaris will bring to our state.
Plus, Tinder users have found a different reason to swipe right. See what college students are now using the popular dating app for. These stories and more when Falcon Weekly returns.
Welcome back to Falcon Weekly, and now it's time for a check of Montevallo's forecast.
Falcon Weekly's Jordan Ashley Ford joins us with a look at this week's weather. Jordan.
Thank you. Although it has been a dark and dreary President's Day here, Washington, D.C. got a blanket of snow. A President's Day storm coated the White House today. A winter storm warning is in effect for the nation's capital until early Tuesday morning. The National Weather Service says D.C. could pick up 4 to 6 inches of snow before it switches over to all rain late Monday night. Now, although we don't have severe winter weather around, we are looking at some severe thunderstorms later tonight. Let's look at that, please. Okay, so you can see that Montevallo is falling between Birmingham 41 and Clanton at 40, so Montevallo's temperatures are going to be around low 40s, and the coloring, as you can see, means that we're going to be an 85% chance of rainfall. Now, as we approach midnight, the chances of the rain are going to decrease significantly, so if you can just hold tight till midnight, then it'll be over. So if we can see the severe storm warning. Okay, so here is Montevallo around in here. Just south of Montevallo, we do have some threats of some possible tornadoes and some damaging winds and some possible hail. Now, if you see right here, the time period of that is going to end around 7 p.m. So it is going to end very soon with the actual severe weather. So looking ahead this week, Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be mid to low 60s, and then as we approach this weekend, it's going to be mid 70s, so it's going to feel like spring. And speaking of spring, allergy season is right around the corner, and what a lot of people don't know is that to prepare for allergy season, you need to go ahead and be taking your allergy medication, because if you wait until allergy season has come, it's too late to really go ahead and try to fight that off. So that's your weather tip for this week. I'm Jordan Ashley Ford, reporting for Falcon Weekly.
After the announcement of Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia's death, both Republican and Democratic leaders in Washington were disputing over who should choose Scalia's successor.
Scott McLean joins us from Washington with the latest.
As condolences come in, battle lines also being drawn over Justice Antonin Scalia's replacement. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell quickly making clear he wants the next president to choose the new justice, with Republican presidential candidates following suit during Saturday's debate.
It's called delay, delay, delay.
I do not believe the president should appoint someone.
In California, President Obama acknowledging Scalia's death and promising to nominate a replacement soon.
I plan to fulfill my constitutional responsibilities to nominate a successor in due time. There will be plenty of time for me to do so and for the Senate to fulfill its responsibility to give that person a fair hearing and a timely vote.
Getting a nominee confirmed in this election year will be difficult, with Senator McConnell and his Democratic counterpart, Senator Harry Reid, already at odds. McConnell in a statement saying the American people should have a voice in the selection of their next Supreme Court justice. Reid pushing back, saying the Senate has a responsibility to fill vacancies as soon as possible. Without a majority in the Senate, the Democrats will need a handful of Republicans to break ranks, including some facing tough re-election bids this year. The Democrats already sharpening their line of attack.
I think first the American people don't like this obstructionism. When you go right off the bat and say, I don't care who he nominates, I am going to oppose him, that's not going to fly.
Now, the Senate is in recess right now. The president has vowed to wait until it's back in session before choosing a nominee. Now, if Republicans were able to delay this process until President Obama leaves office, it would be a record. On average, it takes just 69 days to confirm a nominee. There have been some long delays before, but nothing like the 11 months that some Republicans want to wait now. Reporting from Washington, D.C., I'm Scott McLean.
Scalia's body was returned to Virginia Monday morning. His family declined to have an autopsy performed.
Turning to state news, Alabama Congressman Robert Adderholt is pushing a bill to give states the right to impose drug testing to people receiving food stamps. The food stamp program is utilized by 46 million Americans. Adderholt says fraud and abuse of food stamps have drastically increased and it needs to stop. Qualifications for welfare benefits will be changing this new bill. Welfare applicants will have to submit job applications before receiving benefits. They won't be able to spend benefits on alcohol, tobacco, gambling, or strip clubs. And applicants who've had a drug conviction within the past 5 years will be drug tested before receiving benefits.
ATV maker Polaris will be adding about 2,000 jobs in North Alabama to produce a futuristic-looking car. The company will build this vehicle that resembles the Batmobile called the Slingshot. The car was on display at the Alabama Capitol last week. The vehicle is a reverse trike with 2 wheels in the front and 1 in the back. It has 2 side-by-side seats. The Slingshot will retail for over $21,000.
Would you pay to have someone cuddle with you on the couch? Folks in Birmingham are paying $60 per hour for professionally cuddling services. Cuddle Fix is a new business recently launched in the Magic City. Amy is a cuddle pro. She cuddles with clients at her home or theirs, on a couch, or even in a bed. Amy says many of her clients need a friend to talk to, a shoulder to cry on, or a person to laugh with. She says all of her clients are men, and no women have requested her services yet. So is it worth forking over money for this? Doctors say maybe, but there hasn't been enough research into therapeutic value of cuddling.
Still ahead, Kanye West has a new announcement for the world, and some may say it's priceless.
And a new Sports Illustrated cover will have you doing a double take. Find out what new changes are being made by the popular magazine. We'll be right back.
In health news, Brazil mobilized its military and thousands of health workers over the weekend to fight the mosquito that carries the Zika virus. They're calling the effort Operation Zika Zero. Experts say the virus is sweeping through parts of Latin America. Zika is mostly harmless for adults, but it's been linked to a serious birth defect among newborns. Brazil's president says the Zika virus outbreak will not compromise the upcoming Olympics there. The city of Flint, Michigan, introduced a fleet of mobile pediatric clinics on Friday. The health facilities on wheels are aimed at getting proper care and treatment to children harmed by the city's lead water crisis. At least one of the mobile clinics was donated to the city by the New York-based Children's Health Fund. County health officials also sent out letters on Friday warning Flint residents about excessive lead levels in the city's water. Some residents are being warned not to drink the tap water, even if they have a filter.
Kanye West announced his new album release over the weekend, then took it back and added he's $53 million in debt. There hasn't been outside confirmation on these claims. West tweeted the news asking his followers for prayers before performing on Saturday Night Live. The album, The Life of Pablo, is only available on streaming service called Tidal. Sunday, West tweeted to his fans pleading for them to subscribe to the website to listen to the album. West also called for Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg to invest $1 billion in his ideas.
Deadpool surprised Hollywood more than doubling its initial box office opening forecast. Marvel's profane and sarcastic superhero Deadpool, played by Ryan Reynolds, had a record box office opening for an R-rated film this weekend. It brought in an estimated $135 million. That exceeded The Matrix Reloaded, which opened to $91.7 million in May 2003. Deadpool also became the biggest February opening ever, overtaking last year's 50 Shades of Grey, which made a little more than $85 million.
Superstar Carrie Underwood and Montevallo's own Sam Hunt are gearing up for an epic duet performance at tonight's 58th Annual Grammy Awards. In addition to performing, Sam Hunt's album Montevallo has been nominated for Best Country Album. The Grammys will be aired at 7 tonight on CBS.
Now let's take a look at some trending stories.
Falcon Weekly's Matt Harchuk and Corey Graffio join us for the buzz. What have you got for us, Corey?
Thanks, guys. Sports Illustrated is breaking stereotypes and promoting body positivity with its new swimsuit covers. This is the first time there have been 3 women featured with different body types. Ronda Rousey, Haley Clausen, and Ashley Graham are all on separate covers. Graham is the only size 16 model to be on the front of the magazine. She posted her cover to Instagram saying, "Truly speechless. This cover is for every woman who felt like she wasn't beautiful enough because of her size. You can do and achieve anything you put your mind to." So how do you guys feel about a plus-size model being on Sports Illustrated?
I think it's a very good thing. She is a beautiful woman who honestly deserves the cover.
I feel like her whole, I feel like she's a sense of empowerment. Like, she embodies beauty, and she's a great motivation for those out there who believe who just don't think they are, like, beautiful enough to be a model. So I say kudos to her. She's really great.
She's breaking down the stereotypes. She's got it going on.
I agree. The internet has changed how some people find love. Now smartphones are changing how people find friends. A study of 200 college students found that 73% of them ranked Tinder as their favorite dating app. Tinder says half of its users are college age, but the students confess they are not using the app to date. Some say they have never even gone on a date using the app. Instead, they use dating apps to find friends.
So, whatever happened to Facebook? I find that kind of strange that they're using a dating app to find the friend. Forget the hookup. I mean, like, there's always Twitter and Facebook, but I guess they threw all of that out the window. That's so bizarre.
It's like Match.com, but for a 20-year-old.
Yeah, I'm more of a traditionalist, I guess. I'm more okay with actually going out and talking to people.
Yes.
Instead of thinking you might want to be this person's friend.
Yeah. Gotham City has Batman, but Sydney, Australia has Iron Boy. 9-year-old Dominique, who is battling cystic fibrosis, always wanted to be a superhero. Police and the Make-A-Wish group made that happen. Dominique put on an Iron Man costume and went on a mission to rescue a kidnapped TV reporter. He fought villains played by actors and pulled off the rescue. Many celebrities sent tweets to support Dominique, including Robert Downey Jr., who plays Iron Man in the hit movies. How do you guys feel about the little boy? I think it's so cute.
I love it. I think it's a really cool thing that they did for him. You know, they really gave him a chance to do what he wanted to do.
I think the Make-A-Wish Foundation is a great thing. Anytime you see this story or a similar story to it, you can't just help but smile every time you see it.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. That little boy can be my hero any day. I find the story is so cute, and if he was to come, he could rescue me anytime he wants to. And that's it for the buzz. Matt, what's coming up on sports?
Find out how the women's track and field team placed in the Sanford Open over the weekend, and see if the men's basketball team held on to the top spot in the Peach Belt Conference. Falcon Fever is next. Hello and welcome to another edition of Falcon Fever. I'm Matt Harchuk with a look at this week's Montevallo sports. Over the weekend, the Falcons track and field teams competed at the Sanford Open. The women's team had 3 members post top 10 finishes in events. Junior Cheyenne Thompson finished 3rd overall in the 1-mile run with a time of 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Junior teammate Natalie Shoemaker came in 10th overall in the event with a time of 5 minutes and 15 seconds. In the 5,000-meter run, junior Catherine Torino came in 8th overall with a time of 18 minutes and 37 seconds. Both the men and women teams will compete in their first outdoor event of the year as they travel to compete against Columbus State February 27th. Now to softball. Over the weekend, the Falcons began play in the Falcon Frenzy tournament. The Falcons didn't start so well and lost the first 2 games, but after that, the Falcons gathered themselves and finished the tournament with a 3-game winning streak, defeating Simon Fraser University, McKendree University, and Tusculum University. Next up for the Falcons will be a doubleheader on the road as they travel to take on Delta State University tomorrow. First game is at 1 p.m. and the second is set for 3 p.m. Now we move on to the basketball court. The women's team lost to conference opponent Clayton State 73-57. The Falcons look to bounce back when they travel to Columbus State Wednesday. Tip-off is 4:30 Central. Moving to the men's basketball, the Falcons won against Clayton State by a score of 71-69. The Falcons had 5 players to finish in double figures in scoring for the first time this season, led by senior Terrell Lipkins, who had 16 points to go along with 6 assists. Montevallo is currently in first place in the Peach Belt Conference. Columbus State, Lander University, and Young Harris University are just 1 game behind them. The Falcons look to increase that lead in conference play as they travel to Georgia to play Columbus State University Wednesday. Tip-off is 6:30 p.m. Central. And that's all we have for sports.
Thanks, Matt, and thanks to all our viewers for tuning in this week.
For more UM news from MassCom student reporters, be sure to check out the Falcon News Network blog. The web address is on your screen. We'll see you next week.